Hello, everybody. I was literally on time, and of course, YouTube did some effed up shit, and they moved all of my spots that I had ready for tonight on the videos that we're gonna look at. So, as we all know, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp did a trial. It was 6 weeks long. Johnny won. He got awarded $15 million. It was really $10 million that after all the charges that he's supposed to get. Amber Heard won $2 million, and because she owes 10, it's really 8.5 now that she has to pay Johnny. Her lawyer was the first to do an interview. Then his lawyers did an interview, and now Amber. On Monday, we got to see a preview of these two parts. So I figured I would share these two parts with you and go over how we all feel, because I want to know what you guys feel. I know how I feel, which I will talk about, but I want to know how you guys feel. So I feel like maybe I'm not crazy from everything that I've heard, because it's literally such a crazy interview. And I know she is going to be milking these interviews as much as she can. Just this interview right here, she had to have made over at least $1 million, if not more, for sure more. And then Friday, we have the Dateline Hour interview. That's going to be more too. She plans on writing a book. So she's trying to make her money to pay him back or keep for herself. Who knows? But let's get into it. So I'm going to start with part 1. Hey, Rose. How are you, girl? Hey, Miranda. I'm so glad to see you, Rose. I know Rose has seen this with me. So it's going to probably just reiterate everything we've watched and talked about. But at least we could talk about it together some. So I'm trying to see. This is YouTube for you. Which one is part 1? What color is it? It's yellow. Okay, so I have it in order.
More than a week since the verdict. As you sit here with me now, has it sunk in?
Ugh, this face. Why does she have to look down? Aw, hey, Michael, Mallory. Thank you for coming. Yeah, I'm tired too, girl. I totally didn't wake up for Legal Vice's stream today because I just slept in. It needed to happen.
How could it? Surreal and difficult, in part, yes. This has been a long time coming.
It's difficult and surreal because you lost and you didn't think you were going to lose. You probably had it in your head that you were going to win, that everyone was going to believe you. Oh, my God.
Do you stand by your testimony and your accusations against Johnny Depp about abuse?
Of course, to my dying day, will stand by every word of my testimony.
And right there's a key point. That's how narcissists are. They believe all of their lies, that their lies aren't even lies to them. It's what they think and feel happened, though it never did. So she is going to believe this into her dying day because she literally believes this. She actually thinks that this is what happened to her. Right? She is such a narcissist. So many points. Part 2, just Farron with the I'm trying to think of her channel. I know it's Farron. Of course, I'm going to have to look. I have such bad short-term memory. Farron Balanced. I don't know if you guys have heard of her. I'll link her down below. I have clips from her video for part 2 today, and I want you guys to see this because she, at one point, Amber goes into like this word salad mode, and Farron explains it so beautifully that I just have to show you guys. No problem. We should be done by then. I'm hoping to go pretty fast with this. I have dinner sitting next to me. I had to make it for the boyfriend first, and you know how us women are. I can wait.
The real-life drama of the defamation case between Amber Heard and her ex-husband Johnny Depp captivated millions of people around the world.
Amber Heard just got exposed.
Johnny, you hit me.
This is so cringe.
With clips spreading across social media like wildfire.
I think
Miranda, I know you spend time on TikTok. I didn't see any of those, and now I'm definitely going to be searching TikTok to see some of these. You forgot to cook dinner. Oh, no. Make something simple and quick. Tell everyone they have to eat cereal. My boyfriend loves cereal. So when I'm like, it's a cereal night, he's like, yes. Because I can cook dinner and he'll still eat like 5 bowls of cereal later. He's like as skinny as a twig. His metabolism just burns through and he eats everything. Hey, Coffee. Hey, Chronic.
vast majority of this trial was played out on social media. I think that this trial is an example of that gone haywire, gone amok, and the jury is not immune to that.
You think the jury saw it?
How could they not? I think even the most well-intentioned juror, it would have been impossible to avoid this.
People on.
So pretty much any well-intentioned juror would have seen this. You are pretty much saying that the jury committed a crime because they were on social media. Even if they're the most well-intentional, they would have saw something and looked at it. You are... Now, I have faith in the jury, like most people do. Now, if they were on social media, maybe they would have seen something and clicked off. But I know if I was a juror, I would do everything I could to make this a very unbiased look at everything they're presented to me and not what anything is happening on social media, because I know social media is a cesspool and I know that things like this happen. She just doesn't have faith in any system because she lost. No.
Online and crowds outside the courthouse made it clear where they stood.
Every single day, I passed for 3, 4, sometimes 6 blocks, city blocks lined with people holding signs saying, "Burn the witch," "Death to Amber." After 3.5 weeks, I took the stand.
Now, I watched a lot of LawTube, and I only saw maybe a couple signs. Nothing said "burn the witch" that I saw. But she is just mad that she didn't have fans holding big signs out there for her. That's the problem. It's not these people were out there. There was nobody for her. Nobody said anything when she came. Sometimes you would hear some booing, but when Johnny would come, it was like, yeah! That's why she's mad. She didn't get the attention. Right? Oh, yes. Yep. Well, that's why she's doing all of this now. More fame and money.
And saw just a courtroom packed full of Captain Jack Sparrow fans who were vocal, energized.
Can you put into words how that felt?
This was the
I still
most
don't understand why this had to do
humiliating and
anything with the
horrible
movie.
thing I've ever been through. I have never felt more removed from my own humanity.
So pretty much, there was all these Jack Sparrow fans, but do we say all the people that were there for you were all these Aquaman fans? I don't get why she makes multiple references to the movies that he's in, and one of them really gets me, like it grinds my gears, and that's the Edward Scissorhand one. And wait till you guys hear what she has to say about that, because it doesn't make any sense.
I felt less than human.
Let's go back to the day of the verdict. Were you feeling confident?
That's a
Long
great
pause.
question. I wish I could say yes to that. I want to say yes to you, but it wouldn't be true. Even if you think.
I did point that out in my video on Monday from the preview. I said, that's got to be the first lie that, like, first thing that she said that was true that wasn't a lie. She's saying, I can't lie to you because I know it's not true. That's the first time I've ever heard that from her. So I give you props for that one. That's the only thing I'll give you props on, though.
That I'm lying. You still couldn't tell me. Look me in the eye
You
and
can't
me
tell
that
she's
you think on
acting.
social media there's been a fair representation.
Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
After the 6-week trial, the jury found Heard defamed Depp in a 2018 Washington Post op-ed in which she wrote she was a public figure representing domestic abuse. She never mentioned her ex-husband by name. Depp denied the abuse allegations in court. Heard won just one of 3 claims in her countersuit against her ex-husband.
And let's remember that her countersuit, he asked for $50 million. Which, yes, it's a lot of money, but you have to think that he was, oops, I pressed unpause. He would have probably done a Pirate 6, which I still hope for his sake that it comes out. So all the merch, Disney, all of that, the film, and then all of the advertising, things like that. Yeah, it would have equaled up about $50 million that he would have made. She was asking for $100 million. She's not worth $100 million. Not for your 2 minutes that you were in Aquaman 2. That's not worth $100 million. Which I was one of the ones that did sign the petition that she was removed from Aquaman 2. We can only hope. But as Ricketta Law said last night, actually this morning, he's up all night. He said it would cost a lot of money to put a different actor in there, and they'll probably leave her in for the 2 minutes that she'll probably be aired. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, whatever. If she's there, she's there. I don't really watch it anyways. So yeah. Yeah. He says no, but I really hope he will for the fans. He loves his music. Yep. And that Dior commercial has been playing nonstop. I watch a lot of TV. That Dior commercial comes on at least every other program on Bravo or TLC because I watch a lot of that. It's always on. He is making money off that Dior campaign, which rightfully so. Oh, we all of us here love Emily D. Baker. We are fans. Now, I found Emily D. Baker because of, all right, so get down, the cat. She thinks she's going to get food. I don't know if you've heard of Katie Joy Paulson from Without a Crystal Ball. I didn't watch a lot of her. I watched her and then was like, yeah, she's a narcissistic bitch. And wow, she does a lot of things that are completely obscene and crazy. And Emily D. Baker covered her lawsuit with Tati Westbrook, who is a beauty guru, and I'm in the beauty community. I watch all of that. And that's when I really got into Emily D. Baker. And I found all of the other law tubers thanks to Emily. I didn't know that they did all of this law tube stuff on YouTube. And I love the law. I love learning about it. So I was pretty damn excited to find all of these lawyers on YouTube. Hey, Beauty by KK, how are you? If you guys like makeup, you got to check out Beauty by KK's channel. She got this really cool model that she can do the eyeshadow looks and teach you guys how to do eyeshadow looks. And it is so freaking cool. I cannot wait. Like, I'm jealous that you have that. That is awesome. That is so cool. Then again, I have a freaking hand to do nails. It's so awesome, though. Dior is the only brand that didn't turn. I know. And that's a good thing. He deserved it. Oops. I went to the wrong one. I love you so much, girl.
That verdict came less than 2 years after a judge ruled against Depp in a similar case in the UK, in which he sued a British newspaper that called him a wife beater.
There was another trial, dealt with the same substantive issues that had even more evidence in. In fact, my evidence was largely kept out. Really important pieces of evidence kept out. Done differently, handled differently by a judge instead of a jury.
Some evidence is admissible in a UK court that is not admissible in a US
Thank you,
court.
Savannah.
Do you think that maybe he just had better lawyers?
The UK trial was not versus Amber Heard. It was versus the Sun. She feels, and this is part of the narcissistic behavior, that was a trial against her versus Johnny. She really thinks she won that trial when all she was a goddamn witness. That's all she was. A witness. I don't even know why she's thinking, did they have better lawyers? I know she's asking about the U.S. trial, but like, oh my God. And yes, Rose, same here. The LawTube has saved me as well. Beauty by KK knows. So the anti-KJ community, they're crazy. I guess you can call it anti-John Yates, which does he used to do 90 Day Fiance, but now he's just a little whiny baby. So much drama, which I do still like people from all of those communities. I still miss talking to people in the chats, which sometimes I'll go and I'll watch something, but it saved my life, the LawTube. And the 6-week trial, I cannot wait. One of the LawTubers was like, this opened up a door for more trials to be aired. And I hope it does, because I love to watch trials. I started loving to watch trials back with the Casey Anthony. And then I, of course, watched Jodi Arias and all those other mainstream trials. So I knew I liked law, but didn't realize I liked law before working in the law office, and then worked in the law office and have been obsessed with it ever since. So, and there's good people on LawTube. There's a lot of good people on LawTube, and there's a little bit of drama, but not much. They kind of get over it because they're lawyers, which is nice.
I will say his lawyers did certainly a better job of distracting the jury from the real issues.
For some people, they just were frankly disgusted by the whole thing and don't have much sympathy for either one of you. Can you understand that?
Absolutely. I would not blame the average person for looking at this and how it's been covered and not think that it is Hollywood brats at their worst. But what people don't understand is it's actually so much bigger than that. This is not only about our First Amendment right to speak.
Ooh. And she has a good comeback for this. Yes, I know Jodi Arias was a Mormon. I actually have a friend that's a Mormon, and I used to go to her church and things like that. I went to a Catholic school my whole life. So one of the classes we had was religion class, and we did learn about other religions. And I found it very interesting to go to other people's churches and learn their different beliefs. And Jodi Arias was crazy. Like, how are you going to stab your boyfriend in the shower? Like, pretend, we're going to have a romantic moment and then take pictures. And go on like it was normal life every day. I watched a lot of ID Mystery, too, on TV, the ID Network. And the California killer, when they caught him, that was like a huge thing because he had been killing people for years. I think since like the 60s, 70s, I want to say early 70s. And nobody found him into the late 2000s? How? Well, one of his family members did a DNA test, and that's how they found him. That's why you don't do any. The government's watching, everybody. The government's watching. Be careful what you do.
Here's the thing about the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects free speech. It doesn't protect lies that amount to defamation. And that was the issue in the case.
Yes, exactly. You can't go into, the free speech does not protect you if you go into a crowded theater and you scream fire. We get the concept.
What's it have to do with the price of tea in China? She said you can have free speech. That is your First Amendment right. But you can't go into a courtroom and lie. And she was like, oh, yeah, I know. I agree. It's like going into a theater and screaming fire. No, it's not the same thing. She's just hiding the fact, and this is the word salad, where she's just not answering questions and giving a bunch of shit that doesn't make sense. I can honestly say I didn't do that. Oh, Ted Bundy. I watched the Ted Bundy stuff like on him, and the movie was amazing. And that guy, he was a Rico Suave. And Michael, I am sorry that your first wife abused you. No one should be abused. It's completely and utterly a stupid thing for anybody to do, and I still don't understand it. I'm a victim of DV and SA, and when you're a victim, especially of either or, you hate yourself. You feel like you deserve it. The way she comes off, you can tell that she is not a survivor. Coffee should still be here. If not, she's around. She's probably listening. She's definitely not a survivor, because she would have been like, I don't know why it's my fault. I don't know what I did to deserve this. She would have had, I don't know. She wouldn't be feeling like this. She wouldn't be so like cocky with her little personality that she has going on.
Free speech from the Greeks. My understanding of what that means is not just the freedom to
There's
speak.
coffee.
It's a freedom to speak truth to power.
But truth is the word.
Yes.
And that was the issue.
And that's all I spoke.
You go,
And
Savannah.
I spoke it to power, and I paid the price.
You spoke truth to power and you paid the price. No, you lied off of your complete ass, and they proved you were a liar.
Closing arguments, the Depp lawyer called your testimony the performance of a lifetime and said you were acting. What do you say to that?
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers.
That really grinds my gears. What? Says the lawyer that convinced the world that a man had scissors for hands? Did anything in that trial convince anyone that Johnny had scissors for hands? What is up with her analogies? She is just so beyond out there and Neverland. I agree with Johnny's lawyers. This was the performance of a lifetime. Did she do a great job at it? No. She could have brought on the waterworks, and maybe that would have been a little bit more believable, but she couldn't even cry. I'm sorry, when I think about what I've gone through, even if I think about the word depressed, I can instantly get, like, not that I cry on purpose. It makes me cry because it is a trigger in my brain of everything that I've been through. And if she has such PTSD, she has all these rules and regulations when she's on movie sets that people can't touch her certain ways. The things she was hearing during the trial would have set her off. I feel like people use the word trigger very loosely nowadays, but that would have been a trigger for somebody. Welcome back.
I'm the performer. I had listened to weeks of testimony
I'd
insinuating
get an
that,
autograph
or
and then
saying
I'd
quite
sell it years later for
directly
lots of
that,
money.
you know, I'm a terrible actress. So I'm
You
a
are a
bit
terrible
confused how I could be
actress.
both.
The Depp team argued that you were the abuser, that you instigated physical violence. Did
All right. See how she is answering yes? That is, so I watched a body language expert on the first part. That is a clue, too, for people to be like, they're answering the question without realizing they're answering the question. She was the abuser.
you?
I never had to instigate it. I responded to it. When you're living in violence and it becomes normal, as I testified to, you have to adapt.
You say you were responding, but there is evidence. There are tapes in which you acknowledge hitting. There are
Yep.
tapes in which you say, I started the fight.
I know
Yep.
much has been made of these audio tapes. They were first leaked online after being edited. What?
No. Who put them out there? Whose evidence was it? Does this bitch not remember? That's her evidence. She had these tapes. She put that into the trial. If they were edited, that's a good job for you, because that means you edited them before putting them online or giving them to TMZ, because we won't go there. Unbelievable. Those scissors might cut me for sure. But you know what? Edward Scissorhands, he was gosh darn hot in. And that is probably one of my favorite Johnny Depp movies, because I'm not a Pirates fan. Though he did an amazing job, I'm not a Pirates fan. Now, an Edward Scissorhands fan? Hell yeah. Come see me.
You would hear in those clips are not evidence of what was happening. It was evidence of a negotiation of how to talk about that with your abuser.
But I am looking at a transcript that says, he says, you start physical fights, and you say, I did start a physical fight. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. I mean, this is in black and white. I understand context. But you're testifying and you're just telling me today, I never started a physical fight, and here you are on tape saying you did.
As I testified on the stand about this, is that when your life is at risk, not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally.
Did she just say this is what she said? Because I'm pretty sure Savannah just read the transcripts. And that's not what you said, unless this is what you meant by what you said. But I'm pretty sure I heard she said, this is what I said. I'll have to go back. I don't want to go back right this second, even though we're pretty much at the end. I'll go back a second or two. Let's see.
Is at risk. Not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in
of course.
And you're just telling me today, I never started a physical fight, and here you are on tape saying you did.
As I testified on the stand about
this. As I testified.
When your life is at risk.
When I said it.
Not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources that, say, you or I do with the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and white, because it's anything but when you're living in it.
Yes, people don't really have the luxuries except if you're like a celebrity. So you're claiming that normal people don't have the luxuries. Well, you did have the luxuries as a celebrity. Why didn't you go open your mouth and say something? You let it go on for years and years. You took it, as you said. And I get the whole leaving an abusive relationship does take time, especially because it's a mental thing as well, that they make you feel like you're a worthless piece of shit and that you deserve it. But if she was the person that was getting abused, you have a lot of resources. You had plenty of opportunities to leave. Unlike some of us normal people that, the man sometimes makes all the money in my case and I wanted to leave. I couldn't. I don't have a place to go. And that's a hinder. But there are still ways around that. You have shelters, you have charities, you have numbers you can call. There are a lot of things to help women and men get out of an abusive relationship, whether you are a celebrity or not.
But then there are other times, there's another tape where you're taunting him and saying, oh, tell the world, Johnny Depp, I, a man, am a victim of domestic violence.
20-second clips or the transcripts of them are not representative of even the 2 hours or the 3 hours that those clips are excerpt from.
Could your side have just put the whole 3 hours in then?
I'm not a lawyer. As I testified to, I was talking in those recordings as a person in extreme amount of emotional, psychological, and physical distress.
He says
so there was 3 hours of that tape. And yes, your team could have put out the whole 3 hours to show the context that was missing. And for me, yes, context is everything. And when I do show things and want to show proof to things, I like to show the context. I thought they did a great job showing the context, even with the evidence that was provided with the context. I mean, 3 hours? Oh my God, if I had to deal with her for 3 hours, I wouldn't blame him if he just ran away. Oh my God, 3 hours? I couldn't do it.
He never hit you.
He
never. Is that a lie?
Yes, it is.
What about the witnesses who said they have seen you instigate physical violence?
I've seen firsthand how people will file rank and support the person they depend on.
Did they all come in and lie in court?
I am not here to call any of his witnesses any names. I'm here to just kind of talk about it from what it felt like for me as a person who sat there.
No, you are clearly saying, I think everyone that came in this freaking courtroom lied. I told the truth, and you all lied. You all followed suit. Just because you love Johnny Depp, because he's in all of these movies, and you're a simp for him. No, bitch. You lied. Everybody else told the truth. There might have been maybe some things that were unclear, but to say that everyone committed perjury, that's a lot. You don't say, pretty much everyone's a liar. She's not. That's what that comes down to.
When I asked his lawyers, why do you think you won? And the answer I got was, because she never took responsibility for anything she did.
Oh, Rose, I didn't know
marriage.
that.
I did do and say horrible, regrettable things throughout my relationship. I behaved in horrible, almost unrecognizable to myself ways. There's so much. I have so much regret. I freely and
maybe
openly,
it was because you were on
voluntarily
drugs too, so you don't recognize yourself.
What I did. I talked about the horrible language. I talked about being pushed to the extent where I didn't even know the difference between, right and wrong.
You were doing drugs, and you can't say that you weren't. I'm not innocent. I'm a recovering drug addict myself. I am going to be 13 years clean this October. So I get it. And I get not remembering who I was during those times, or thinking back, thinking, why the F did I do all of that shit? Because when you're on drugs, you do things that you would never do if you weren't. Maybe you're a little bit more calmer because you're not on them anymore. But maybe you did all those things that they're claiming and you don't remember. Just saying.
Will always continue to feel like I was a part of this, like I was the other half of this relationship, because I was. And it was ugly and could be very beautiful. It was very, very toxic. We were awful to each other. You know, I made a lot of
I'm glad she said we there.
mistakes. A lot of mistakes. But I've always told the truth.
Hurt's lawyer.
Now I don't believe that. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I always told the truth. Now, in the trial, I don't know if you guys remember more than I did. Did she ever admit that I know she like said occasionally she did, you know, ecstasy here and there. Did she admit though that she did drugs all the time? I mean, I've been in those relationships to know that like if my ex was doing them, I was doing them with them. It's party together kind of thing. I feel like she made it seem in this trial that Johnny was the worst person in the freaking world, that he did all these drugs, drank all this alcohol, and she just merely sat there and watched. But anyways, this is the first part. We don't need to watch the little bit that's left because it's just Savannah here chatting, saying, oh, there's more tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. Let's look at today's, which is a lot shorter. No, she didn't. See, I knew it. Yes. Especially like, I've taken ecstasy once. Usually people are more loving on ecstasy. It's why they call it the love drug. From all the MDMA and all of that they were saying they were taking, I could see Johnny loving and her just being like, I don't know, maybe having a bad trip. I don't know. Like, I don't get it.
There's a text message where Johnny promises total global humiliation for you. Do you feel like that came true?
Oh, I can't stand when she does these things. And you notice how it was the first clip in the part 1 and part 2, she does the same exact thing. I don't get it. It doesn't make it look like you are so overwhelmed and emotional and it's really bothering you. It doesn't. You can tell you're fake acting and it's bad.
I know he promised it. I testified to this. I'm not a good victim.
So
I get it. I'm not a likable victim. I'm not a perfect victim. But when I testified, I asked the jury to just see me as human and hear his own words, which is a promise to do this. It feels as though he has.
Amber Heard.
Now, I'll give it to Savannah. She's being really, really nice to Amber. And if I had to sit there and listen to all of these lines of bullshit, I would be like Camila Vasquez and just be like, are you like, shut up and answer my goddamn question. That was a yes or no. Like, oh my gosh. But that's what the glory of, you know, having a trial, her being on the witness stand. She did, but she couldn't go on all of these long rants and all this, that, this. They allowed her, but when she was getting a little out of hand, they cut that shit down. Though her team let her rant and rave. But if Johnny was to tell a story and how it went, they were worse than Camilla with, you need to stop and answer my question. It wasn't like he was not allowed to speak like she was. And that's how I felt. But I don't know. She talks way too much. And when you're a liar and you talk way too much, you better hope that you remember all those lies. And that's why they caught up to you. There is no perfect victim. Exactly. Exactly.
Reflecting on the ripple effects of her tumultuous trial with Johnny
Look at
Depp.
that face!
Having been
I never seen, that is a photo. They caught that photo at the right time because I didn't see that day when she was on the witness stand. I do remember her like looking like that for a second, then turning her head and like wiping her nose, but she never actually broke down like that. What a photo op, man.
found liable.
Good
Are you
catch,
nervous
photographer.
as we are here today about what you can say now?
Of course. I took for granted what I assumed was my right to speak.
Ooh, this
Do
is the
you
best
feel
part.
like you could be sued again by him for defamation?
I'm scared that no matter what I do, no matter what I say or how I say it, every step that I take will present another opportunity for this sort of silencing, which is what I guess the
No, it's not silencing. That's what you are trying to do. Johnny has always been, as they say, a Southern gentleman. Every single officer in that court, he made sure to shake their hand, say hi to them. He made sure the second he pulled up in the car and people were swarming the SUV to write as many signatures as possible for his fans. That is who he is. All the children that he visited in the hospitals with the Pirates of the Caribbean outfit to play Jack Sparrow for them. That is who he is. And the problem is, if she never ruined his reputation, he probably never would have done this defamation case. But the problem was, the things she said were so vile that it ruined his reputation. So he had to take her to court. I think people are now aware of how she is. They see them for what she is, and they don't believe a single word now out of her mouth. So if there was something that she says, like this interview, she could have said something that could hinder his career. I don't think he would take her on for another defamation case unless it was so bad, like this one, that it ruined his career. Then he would do that. But with her, anything he says, she'd immediately take him to court for defamation. I kind of feel maybe that's a good reason for Johnny not to do any interviews. Plus, he's just not the type to do interviews. But it's a good way to stay away from doing an interview because you never know what this bitch will do. She's made that very clear. Yep, exactly. People saw pictures, yep. And that was what one of the law tubers I watched said too. A lot of the TikTokers, which me and Miranda are going on a search tonight. I want to see some of these TikToks. I'm going to be sharing a lot with you. But a lot of these TikTokers only saw clips. They didn't spend 8 hours a day for 6 weeks like some of us did to watch the trial. So they saw it based on the clips. They looked at the evidence that people were providing. And they based their opinion on that. And even in these clips, it showed all the evidence. That's why she doesn't like social media. Because they didn't side with her. But they were showing the evidence and saying their opinion to why they believe she was a liar. And I know I said this in my video on Monday, but people are entitled to their opinions. She feels like it was a bash session, but reality is people were seeing the evidence or these clips or the trial and basing their opinion on what they saw and putting it out there because they can for the whole world to see. I know I did that on my personal Twitter because there were some things that she said during that trial that grinded my gears, and I really needed to get it out there. That's not me bashing you. That's me giving you my opinion about what you just said and how stupid it was. I hope her appeal gets denied too. And how do you feel, Rose? So he didn't come out and say it, but his attorney said it was never about the money to him, and that, I'm going to word it wrong, but that if she didn't appeal this case, then he wouldn't even care if she didn't pay him the $10 million. How do you feel about that? Because I feel like that's, a really awesome deal for her, though she probably won't take it because she is the type to drag this on and on and on and on forever. And some people that have been put through the ringer, especially like him, want their justice. He got what he wanted, which was his name back. People to know that he wasn't lying. People to see he was telling the truth. People to see the evidence and how crazy and just how awful she was to him. He got his name back. That's what he wanted. He doesn't really want the money. He's already going to make more than that with the new film deal that he got, which I'm so happy for him about that. Yeah, exactly. I feel the same way, that all he ever wanted was his name back. Exactly. Thank you, Rose. I figured that's what you would say too. And that's all he wanted. That's all he wanted. You know who she reminds me of, Rose? All these crazy YouTubers that go back and forth with each other. She would do that if she could with all these lawsuits. She would go back and forth endlessly. Back and forth. From what I read in 3 different articles, yes. And I think I have the photo too. He signed a contract. Let's see, I wrote it down too. And he will be working with Camila Vasquez again in a second court case. Unrelated project. I did see that. It's with he assaulted somebody on a set and he punched him in the rib cages, and he tried to offer him $100 for Brooks to punch him back, and claims that he was fired after refusing to promise that he wouldn't sue the actor. So they're going to be working on that. That was... Who was the actor in that? I forget. I know it was... I have the article. You know how my short-term memory is. Oh, yeah, Beetlejuice. Yes, there you go. Thank you. Oh, I hate when my autocorrect puts sex instead of second. Like, it's all the time. I don't get it. Yeah, he got a film deal. I'll look at that while she talks her little talk away.
Defamation lawsuit is meant to do. It's meant to take your voice.
But Amber is still speaking. Just
it's
days
not
after
to
a
take
jury
your
stunned
voice.
Meddy and found
it's to prove the evidence. This is what she said. This is what he said. It's not to take anyone's voice. It's to provide the voice. Yes. Yep. I hope they do Beetlejuice too.
Defamed Depp in an
I
op-ed
am
when
so
she said
down.
She was a public figure representing domestic abuse. The piece, which never
Okay,
mentioned Depp
so
by
this
name,
little
was
clip, I'm going to go
published
back
2
for a
years after
second
the couple.
because this is important. And I know I just talked over it. Get down.
To take your voice.
But Amber is still speaking, just days after a jury stunned many and found the actress defamed Depp in an op-ed where she said she was a public figure representing domestic abuse. The piece, which never mentioned Depp by name, was published 2 years after the couple announced they had settled their divorce.
Life seemingly.
Now, I'm going to pause for a second right here in part 2. I'm going to look, just make sure nothing happens. 158. I have it already queued up to Fair and Balanced, so you can hear what she had to say, because I thought it was a great response to this one part. It was, oh, it's already there. Perfect. I'm going to make it theater view so it's better for us as well.
But Amber is still speaking, just days.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly.
After a jury stunned many and found the actress defamed Depp in an op-ed where she said she was a public figure representing domestic abuse. The piece, which never mentioned Depp by name, was published.
This classic narcissistic behavior with this smirking, and it's meant to take your voice. Again, I went on a rant about this yesterday. Speaking her truth to power, taking away her voice. She has zero idea what that actually means, okay? You have Julian Assange's brother and father here in DC awaiting his extradition charges to see if he's going to be coming back to the United States, okay? That guy exposed not only war crimes that were happening overseas by our military, he also exposed how the DNC was taking your votes and saying, screw what you think, we're going to go with the candidate that we want. And guess what? He's in prison for it. Edward Snowden showed how the government was spying on you without a warrant, only using the Patriot Act to say we're going after all these
Bye,
terrorists.
Rose. I'll see you
spying on you, your
very
family
soon
via any
whenever
webcam, via any
Legal
phone,
Vice
what
does
have
his
you, and
next
charging
stream.
innocent
I
people
emailed
with
you.
crimes
I don't
that
know
they
if you got
shouldn't
my
have even
email,
known about in the
but
first
if not,
place.
I'll
He's
email
now
you
sitting in
again.
Russia, can barely talk to people
Have
because
a
he has to
great
be on a
night,
phone
darling.
that's not connected to something. That's losing his voice. You have Steven Donziger, who stood up for people who literally lost their lives because of a Chevron oil spill. And he wasn't even a journalist. He was the lawyer that defended them, won, and then they had to literally ruin his life because he stood up for the little guy against a big oil company. He was put on house arrest, and now he's been pretty much bullied into being quiet because he knows if he says one word, they're going to come after him again. That is losing your voice. That is speaking truth to power. She knows nothing of that. So acting like she's this big jerk.
Thank you. Thank you, Farron. That is losing your voice. What Amber is doing is not losing her voice. If anything, it's putting it out there to the world for everybody to keep hearing the bullshit she's spewing. There's a little bit more I want to show you with Farron too. So I'm just going to mute myself.
Journalist or this big woman for standing up for women in the Me Too era. Give me a flippin' break. You know nothing of standing up for somebody. The only person you'll ever stand up for is yourself, and you'll take anybody down with it. That is what infuriates me the most about her, is when she tries to put out these journalistic terms of truth to power and I lost my voice. Shut up. Shut up. You're on a morning show spewing lies and hatred towards a guy that you just got sued by. And you still have the opportunity to go out and say what you want to say. And not only that, get paid to do it for the exclusive. So don't tell me that you lost your voice and that you spoke truth to power, then you paid the price. Because anybody that knows anything about speaking truth to power, who really did lose their voice, will look at you in disgust at the fact that you think that you're this survivor now and that you look at me.
Farron got this completely right. And she gets worked up, which I get it because I get worked up when I hear these god-awful things that Amber is saying. I will link her video down below. Yeah, she kind of does the same thing where she reviews the interview and all of that. But definitely check her out. Definitely check out this video because she makes a lot of key points that you don't want to miss, especially if you like this kind of stuff. I enjoy it. I know a lot of you do. Check out Fair and Balanced. The link will be below after the live is over. So now, back to the herd turd.
Moved on and you decide to write an op-ed. Why did you do that?
Because the op-ed wasn't about my relationship with Johnny.
But it alluded to him. It was unmistakable.
You know, what the op-ed was about was, you know, me loaning my voice to a bigger cultural conversation that we were having at the time.
Did you worry? Gosh, I'd love to be a person.
Now, I don't know if a lot of you have read the article. There were so many clear bits in that article that you knew who the F she was talking about. It wasn't saying, you know, I'm a survivor. I know what other women are feeling because I've been through this in past relationships where you just feel like this and you just feel like that. She went into key points that people knew who she was talking about. It wasn't a general reference to, I know how you feel. This is how I felt going through it. Because it was to defame him. That was her goal. End of story.
And on these cultural issues, but that's going to stir this all up again.
I obviously knew it was important for me not to make it about him or to do anything like defame him. I had lawyers, teams of lawyers, review all the drafts of this.
When you wrote this op-ed, it was the height of Me Too.
I'm just going to leave it on because it's all
Legions of
bullcrap.
powerful men being canceled, losing their jobs. Did you want that to happen to Johnny Depp?
Of course not.
Of course not.
It wasn't about him.
But the op-ed and the abuse alleged was at the heart of the 6-week trial.
Just pulls his arm back with the phone and throws it at my face. Hit me right in it felt like my eye.
Heard testified that the final straw came.
One thing that Farron says is, if he hit you in the face with a phone and it felt like your eye, you wouldn't think, oh, it felt like it was my eye. You would know if it was your eye that he hit the phone with. You wouldn't say, it felt like it was my eye. It was your eye, your cheek, if that's where it hit. Not it felt like it was. Oh, yay. And thank you, Miranda. This is why you are the best mod in town.
After a violent fight.
Exactly,
in May
Michael.
2016. 6 days later, she filed for a restraining order. Cameras capturing her.
Now, somebody in Farron's stream pointed this out about this whole eye thing. I took a screenshot because it was very worth the screenshot. And I am going to put it up for you guys because it was very interesting. And it's not something that I realized until she said it. What? Oh, let me remove the comment so it's not in our way. What eye did she say Johnny threw phone to her eye? On the stand, she goes to the left eye. Are there photos that show the right eye? Now, the photo that we just saw to us is her left side, but it's the right side for her. She can't remember her own lies. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to.
As she left the courthouse. But Depp's lawyers convinced the jury Heard was lying about the abuse. Police who responded to the 2016 incident testified during the trial that they didn't see any injuries and that Heard declined to file charges.
This was a hoax.
And when there was no
according to
injuries, she took a makeup kit and made a black eye. And then got out of the shower and washed it off. That's why the next day, when she was out with her friends, there wasn't a black eye anymore. And, oh, ice and this and that took down the swelling. Bullshit. Let me tell you, when I have a bruise, it bruises for days. Days it's there. And yes, I do bruise easily. But it's still there for days.
Team, why didn't I cooperate with the police? As I've testified before, and I will stand by until my dying day, I didn't want to cooperate with them. I didn't want this to be out. I didn't want this to be known. I didn't want to cooperate with them because I didn't want this to be, I didn't want to get him in trouble. If it was a hoax, I could have done that.
But 5 days later, you went to court.
She didn't want to give them the trouble.
It came out.
5 days later, I made the decision to stand up for myself and protect myself. You can't get a restraining order in private, which of course I didn't understand.
Yes, yes, you cannot get a restraining order in private. But what you can do, she walked in through the back door. She left through the front door. Now, nobody would have known she was even there getting a restraining order unless, TMZ just so happened to be around. Sometimes they do that. But a lot of celebrities give tips to where they are going for dinner, what they are doing for this, that, so the paparazzi could be there. She gave the paparazzi tips to let them know she was going to get a restraining order. She could have left through the back door like she came in. She chose not to. Just like she gave the rights to TMZ with that video. But then she claims she didn't give them the right. I don't know who gave them the right. It was your freaking video. You need to give somebody the right to have that video, to play it on their website, to play it here, to play it there. That's a bullshit lie. The lies that come out of her mouth piss me off so bad. I don't get it. It grinds my gears. I know I've said that like 3 times. I've been watching, what is a show where that's all they say.
The night when the cops were called.
Oops, I pressed
An employee of TMZ testified at court and said that TMZ was tipped off about when you were going to be going to the courthouse and on what side of your face bruises would be apparent. Did you tip off TMZ?
I was going to say, he certainly didn't get tipped off by me or anyone in my...
tip off TMZ?
Why would they? No.
You ask no one to do that.
As I testified to before, it had nothing to do
even
with
right
me.
there, the shadowing of her contour, it kind of could look like a bruise on her cheek. But in photos during the trial, the one where he fell asleep with ice cream all over his lap, there was a bruise makeup kit right there on the table. Her acting coach and makeup artist both testified to the fact they taught her how to do these bruises to make them look real for, one, the acting experience that she might need for any film, but also for the film that she was doing. Because if you did see Aquaman, there are like scenes where she's like going through fire, this and that, and she's going to have bruises if you're in fighting scenes like that. Like, she needed to know how to do it. Just in case something came off, she needed to touch it up, all of that. She learned. I believe she did it herself.
Too, and the Depp legal team would put up pictures of you publicly right after that or in the days following and saying that why are there no bruises?
Again, it's that thing. If you have bruising, if you have injuries, it's fake. If you don't have any, then you weren't injured.
You had promised to donate the $7 million
No,
of
no,
your
no.
divorce settlement to charity. It was revealed at trial.
We're going to pause here. Yes, because I want this whole charity thing to be outlined. If you have bruises and you show them, or you go to a cop, you go to get a restraining order the next day, yes, you're more likely to be believed. If you don't have videos, as long as you have what you have, you will be believed. Hey, Liz, how are you? And I'll check right now, Michael, if I can find my cell phone. Oh, it's in the drawer. I always lose my cell phone. But for her to say that is a bunch of fucking crap, especially with the Me Too movement. More and more women are believed. People have been taught. People have been come to the conclusion, no, you didn't. Oh my God, you're freaking amazing. Oh, Michael, you're amazing. You're going to make me cry, and I can actually cry. No. Oh, you're so sweet. Wow, you're so sweet. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Oh, you're too sweet. I don't even know what I was trying to say now. Oh, I do. With the whole Me Too movement, more and more people are taught to always believe the woman until you have all the facts. And I am one of those people who believed Amber Heard from everything I did read during that time with the Washington Post article until I saw the evidence for the 6 weeks of that trial that I watched. And I couldn't believe what the fuck I heard. And yeah, justice for Johnny Depp came out of my mouth. And I do know there are plenty of men. And my outlook isn't just always believe the woman. It's I want to hear your story. Tell me your story. I know that there are a lot of DV and SA victims that do not come forward because they are scared. They are scared that they won't be believed. That's why they need maybe to have more emotional support groups. They have, NA, AA for Alcoholic Anonymous, Narcotic Anonymous. They're support groups. I had my own support group when I did therapy with a lot of other people that went to that therapist. There needs to be more support groups for these victims, the ones that are afraid. So that way, if they are afraid, they can go and talk to other people that have been through the same situation as them. And they don't have to worry that they're not going to be believed. They'll have that support. Hey, Megz, so good to see you. I never believed Johnny Depp is ever or was ever a monster. It was very highly that I couldn't believe the claims that she was saying about him. But I also knew that he was doing a lot of drugs and alcohol, and sometimes the worst does come out in people. And behind closed doors, we don't know what was really happening until the evidence came out. And yes, it wasn't all the evidence, but a lot of that evidence that came out shocked a lot of the world. But then you see him and he's still that gentleman. And you can't tell me that he was on drugs the whole 6 weeks of the trial. He was who he always is, that gentleman. He's shy. He's bashful. He goes and supports all these kids by being Jack Sparrow. I couldn't see it either. It was crazy when I read this article. I didn't know who Amber Heard was either. I personally have never seen any of her movies. So I was like, who the hell is this bitch? But I did feel sorrow for her because I know what I went through. So I thought, you know what, it's possible. It's possible when he's, high or drunk that he might do these things. It happens. But we didn't know until we saw the evidence. Michael is amazing.
You haven't done so yet. However, they played a tape where you stayed on the air that you have donated it. Do you think that raised questions as to your credibility with the jury?
I made a pledge, and that pledge is made over time by its nature. And
when you say I donated, you know that everybody thinks that you've donated it, not that you've pledged it. So for the jurors sitting there, do you think they felt like that was you getting caught in a lie?
I don't know, because so much of I feel like so much of the trial was meant to cast aspersions on who I am as a human, my credibility, to call me a liar in every way you can.
And that was the trial. It was a credibility contest.
And
that was it.
And this is where I'm going to pause it.
One of the examples.
She said pledged. And so one of the things that Farron says, and I'm going to hopefully pull it up. I have the timestamp. One of the things she says is if she was the one interviewing Amber, she would be like, this is the definition for pledge, and this is the definition for donate. Which one of these did you do? Because in her goddamn mind, she believes that she will be making that donation still, and that she, by pledging, is giving them a donation. It's two separate things. Two completely separate things. Because even during the trial, she's like, I couldn't give the money to charity because I had all these legal fees. The first one did go to charity because Johnny put it there himself for her. And if she didn't want this money as so bad, like she said she didn't want the money, she didn't need the money, you would have let him continue to do that. Not him send it to you and then you send it to the charity, because it still was going in your name regardless. I don't know what to tell you, Amber. You're a liar. If you were really a victim, you'd be able to look someone in the eye. She's looking everywhere. Yes, and a body language expert said that as well. He's on YouTube. I will find the link. I can't think who I watched. I have it in my history. I'll find who it is. I'll link it in the description. So like 10 minutes after the video, I'll also post it to Twitter for you guys. And you have to see it because there's the body language expert that he literally calls out every single thing that he can see to know that she's lying. And I can't believe there are even people like that. But it's so interesting to learn and see. And when you see it, it's like, yeah, I see it now. I can see what you mean by she's lying. She didn't see. Oh, let me see. Let me scroll back up. Is it possible that you could come? Yeah, I would love to come on a live panel. I will. Let me know your email. And I'll hook up. Is your email, how about this? Is your email on your channel? If it's not in your channel, DM me on Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, just email me. My email is sunshinery.yt@gmail.com. Very easy. So email me and we'll figure it out for sure. Would love to come on your panel. Let me know and I'll definitely come on. I love Savannah. She challenges anyone. I love it. I love Savannah too. And I love that she didn't like I said, go like Camilla, but she still pushed the points that needed to be pushed. Because she wanted those answers. She wanted to hear what Amber had to say. And then after she heard what she had to say, she came back with, that's not true. That's not what your First Amendment right is. you know? And this is the part that I want to show you from Farron. So we're almost to the end, 6:03. I'm going to remove this one and add this one. I have it right at the spot.
Your horse and all this other crap. Yeah, you didn't come out with it because you were trying to extort him, which is also a crime. So, yeah. Shannon, Amber, please get up. OMFG, exactly. Cuddling Kittens. I used to be in the military and occasionally wrote pieces for the base I was stationed at.
Okay,
very cool.
It'll be right
Kittens,
after this. I couldn't get the exact time because that's how YouTube is.
Yeah. So, yeah. Exactly. Again, extortion. Extortion is a crime, folks. And that is what she was doing. Let's not get that distorted.
With a host, I could have done that.
But 5 days later, you went to court and it came out.
And I'm thankful that Savannah, because I will tell you, there are a lot of journalists out there. Sorry, I have cat hair on me. There's a lot of journalists out there that don't know the story enough to know the timeline of what's happening.
True.
The fact that she knows, but 5 days later, very happy to hear that. Because it goes to show that Savannah has researched the crap out of this case. Again, a lot of journalists, the fact that she fired back right away, but 5 days later, she knows the timeline.
I
remember, that was Amber's only defense, is keeping the timeline so miscombobulated to just think that she was literally getting abused every other day. When that was not the case. When we already know that, oh, that wasn't the case, number one. And number two, that by keeping it discombobulated, the story sounded truthful.
With them. I didn't want this to be known. I didn't want this to be known. I didn't want to cooperate with them because I didn't want this to be...
And the timeline was a big thing because if you remember those two photos that were in the case, they were the same two photos from two different incidences. Same exact bottle, same exact stain, same exact area where everything was. Why are you playing? Everything was the same. And she sat up there and still lied. She said, oh, there's been so many incidents, I can't remember. You put it in as one for December and the other as the May one a couple months later. They caught you in a freaking lie because she skewered the timelines. And that is also narcissistic behavior and something people do when they know that they're probably not going to win a case because they have to lie out their ass. That's why she went from May, then December, then this one, and then that one. I can tell you this, Australia is pissed the F off at all the evidence they saw during the U.S. trial. The fact that you lied so bad to them and it was proven. The UK, I hope they have an appeal. I hope the Sun, which I don't have faith in the Sun because if you read anything from the Sun, you can't believe any of the shit that they say. They get so many different things wrong, it's not even funny. But I would hope the Sun would be like, wow, she made us believe he was a wife beater. And now I feel bad for ever writing this article. I feel bad that I even won the lawsuit. Let's fix this. I highly doubt it won't happen, but I do hope. I have hope in this world. I hope it can happen. You did another pledge? Oh my God, Mike, you are so amazing. Oh my God, you are so nice. And you don't know how much this helps me. So my camera got effed up. The mic works great. I'm using it right now. But my camera got effed up. I thought I fixed it. And it didn't. Like it worked and then it's broken again. So you are, oh my God, too nice because this is going right to a new camera. Thank you so much because I love coming on camera and showing you guys like my makeup and just being there on camera with you. It's better when you have a face to look at kind of thing. So this really helps with getting that. You are amazing. I'm going to check it right now. We're going to play her a little bit and I'll check that.
I shouldn't have to have donated it, and And in effort to be believed, I shouldn't have had to earmark the entirety of that in order to have.
You shouldn't have, but once you said you did.
Right, which is where it was intended to go.
Heard says she still plans to honor that pledge.
How do you see
It was where it intended to go, but it didn't.
Like full time, where I'm not having to juggle.
Oh, you are too
calls
sweet. Oh my God, Mike.
With lawyers.
Thank
One
you
day you
so
may
much.
Want to tell your daughter about this, or have to tell your daughter about everything that you've gone through? What would you?
You are too sweet.
Want to
Thank
say?
you so very much.
No matter what, it will mean something. I did the right
I can't wait to come on your panel and we can have some fun together. We'll figure this out. I'll put it on my community tab and we'll let everybody know. So that way we can have some fun together. Game night, if you want to come on my panel too and have fun, that's always open. And I know you did a trivia night the other night, which I totally missed because I was out with the boyfriend. But if you do another trivia night, which I hope you do, I'll be there. I'll be square. We'll have fun during that trivia night. I can't promise that you won't beat the crap out of me, but depends on the trivia. Depends on the trivia. I might just beat the crap out of you in trivia.
I did everything I could to stand up for myself and
Tomorrow?
the truth.
Ooh,
Her and
okay.
Depp's volatile relationship lasted just 4 years. Depp confirming his engagement to me on Today in 2014.
Congratulations.
Right? That would be amazing.
Excited?
Yeah, very. She's a wonderful girl. She's sharp as a tack. Wonderful. Southern belle and sweet as can be, and very good.
To me, this doesn't look like a man that is so in love, so happy. He's about to marry the love of his life and do an interview about it because he's so in love. I mean, the little smile, yeah, he probably thinks she's a really nice girl. I can definitely see, because I know there's women out there in this world that will be one way to get that ring. And then when the whole wedding happens and all of that, they're a completely different person. Eastern Standard, that works for me. I'll be there. And then it's like when they get the ring and they're this completely different person, that's why I don't like a lot of females. I love the females that I do know. But the females that are like this, give us good females a bad name. I know if I ever get a ring one day, hopefully I don't know about it. I'm shooting for it. I will still be the same exact person I am now. Waking up at 4:30 every day to get up to make my boyfriend lunch, to make sure I write those little love notes in his cooler, and just do anything that he needs. And he does everything for me. I mean, the other night, literally, so I don't know I know some of you are new, but I have epilepsy. It's not so bad, but it was bad for a long while. I actually had to see my neurologist in May, and I got my dose fixed, and I'm back to where I needed to be. So I haven't had a seizure since April, which is a good thing. But last night he just came and checked on me, and if he didn't, I was in what I called my zombie mode, where I couldn't think. I'm not having a grand mal, but I'm in that zombie mode where he's talking to me. I can't respond back. I can't think what I was doing beforehand. I can't think what the question he's asking me the answer is until it snaps out. And he was just checking on me. And he was so happy that he came and just checked on me out of the blue. He knows the noise that I make before going into a grand mal seizure. Pope knows, because we were on a voice chat and I went into a grand mal seizure, and Jake was in the room within 30 freaking seconds because he heard the noise. Right there, to me, is caring. That's love. That's something I will always cherish in him. That's something that not a lot of people see my seizures unless I have them in front of them. And I'm thankful that it took like 4 years for him actually to see me have a seizure. So that way now he knows what to look for. And he pays attention. Oh, really? You know what, though? I hope that doesn't stop you from what you do. You can still do whatever you put your mind to, as long as you want to do it. And look, Miranda, I will tell you this about Miranda. She puts her mind to something, she does it. I'm so very proud of Miranda. So, Mike, Miranda has a channel. She does a lot of like the K-pop music scene and stuff. She shows me amazing things. I clicked it by accident. Amazing things about K-pop music that I had no freaking clue about. She's amazing. Every day, her videos get better and better and better because she is skilled. She puts her skills to the top where she's like, I'm going to strive to have this better than the last one. And it means so much to watch her grow because she does an amazing job. And I am so happy that I can call her one of my very close friends because I love everything about her. And I just want to see her do whatever she wants to do. And the day that she got her ambassador program, I was so freaking happy for her because she puts her all into everything. So happy for her, which did they give you a code? Let me know because I want to put at least your link in all of my videos so that way that's there for you. And hopefully that'll help you too because I just want to help any way that I can. That's how I am as a friend. But I'm so proud of her and definitely check her out if you haven't. Check out Mike's channel. Check out Megz, Spooky History at Megz. She does a lot about spooky history, and I love it. I know she did a thing about Bonnie and Clyde, and that's one of my 2 fave. I know they were bad people, but, you know, they were in love. Awesome. We have some awesome people here with some awesome channels. And I feel like I might have missed somebody. And if I missed you, don't worry. I'll put you in the description because I do a Friends of Sunshinery. And I want to help every single one of my friends grow to where they want to grow. Oh, Johnsy's not here. I'll have to link Johnsy's channel. He does like these cool filming of him riding his motorcycle. He's slacking a little. I hope you see this, Johnsy. And needs to get my intro music and outro music done. So he already has it done. He wants to add to it because he's like me, who is a perfectionist with everything they do. But if he doesn't hurry up, I'm just going to use what he got because I love what he put together already for me. So I don't know how he's going to make it even more better than it already is. But when he does, I'm greatly going to be so excited to have new intro music and make a whole new intro and outro for you guys because I want to use my creativity to the max. I don't want to have something that somebody else has. And I saw the other day somebody else has the same outro for their intro as me, which is not a bad thing. I am just a creative person and I want to put my creativity to the test. I want to show you all what kind of creativity that I can put together. And I have been working on everything so very hard that I want to maybe, if anybody needs an intro and outro, let me know. I'm happy to do it for you. I'm happy to do it for free for you. Anything you need, thumbnails, all that, let me know. I'm happy to do it. Especially for my friends, because I love you. And like I said, I just want to see you guys do whatever you want to do. Thank you, Pope. He saved the reference link, so I have it. So I will be putting that in the description. They have makeup. They have press-on nails. and they're not like Makartt's where they're super long. They're nice short ones, or they have some long ones too, but they're nice for the average person that, like me, I can't do shit with nails on, though I love long nails. I can't do shit with them on. I can't roll a goddamn joint. That's a problem. But yes, check out Red Aspen Love and see what they got there, because they got a lot of amazing stuff. I can't wait to try their mascara. That's one of the things I'm getting. And then I'm definitely getting some press-on nails because their designs are super cool. And that's something I strive for as well. I hope to one day be able, which we're getting the merch worked out, but hope that I could sell the sets of nails that I create that are custom, one of a kind, to whoever wants them. Etsy is a great place too. So yeah. But anyways, let's listen to the last 2-3 minutes left of this Amber turd.
It will mean something. I did the right thing. I did everything I could to stand up for myself and the truth.
Heard and Depp's volatile relationship lasted just 4 years.
I'm doing the heart
Depp
hands for you,
confirming his
Miranda.
engagement to me on Today in 2014.
I love our community we have too.
Thank you.
Are you excited?
Yeah, very.
No,
She's
no.
She's
I don't want to let people know when I live, though I've been already doxxed. When you already emailed me, I'll let you know. Just put it this way. I know right where that is. I might be 5 minutes away. Wink, wink. Lived here my whole life, too, though.
she's sharp as a tack. You know, wonderful. You know, Southern belle and sweet as can be, and very good for me. You know.
Oh my God.
On the first day of the trial,
that would be amazing.
You issued a statement, and part of the statement said, "I still have love for Johnny."
Yes.
Is that still true?
Yes.
Bullshit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Bullshit.
I love him. I loved him with all my heart. And I tried the best I could to make
You might have
deeply
loved
broken
him with all
relationship
your
work.
heart, but if you loved him, you
And
wouldn't be trying to ruin the rest of his life.
Couldn't. I have no bad feelings or ill will towards him at all. I know that might be hard to understand, or it might be really easy to understand. If you've just ever loved anyone, it should be easy.
It's easy for me to understand
attorneys have-
because I've loved somebody that's beaten the shit out of me. I've actually loved somebody else that beat the shit out of me. But I am the type of woman that even after that happens, I make myself better. I learned that I don't deserve it. I got myself out of that relationship. I made myself stronger as a person to know what I went through. But I didn't want to ruin the rest of their life. Because I know people make mistakes too. I could only hope, because I didn't give a rat's ass about them afterwards, but I could only hope that they would better their lives, be a better person for the next person, and learn that what they did was not right. And you know what? They both ruined the rest of their lives by themselves. I didn't have to do anything. They went, they did what they were doing, and they got in trouble. And karma's a bitch. That's all I'm going to say there. Karma was a bitch.
Said they do not see the verdict in this case as a setback to victims of domestic violence.
Oh, she
coming
loved
forward.
his money,
Heard's legal
Mike.
team has said that they do
The
plan
private
to appeal
islands,
this summer.
the
Quick note,
penthouses.
We will have more of our conversation with Amber Heard during a special edition of Dateline, including evidence she says should have been included in the trial that would have bolstered her case. You can stream part of it, a sneak
So
preview
apparently, we're going to see some Amber Heard evidence that she would have included in the trial, but she couldn't. I cannot wait to see this evidence, though I don't have very high hopes that it wasn't tampered with. I do have high hopes in Savannah that she will see the evidence and know damn well that shit was fucked with. And Amber will catch herself in a lie because she'll be like, well, this is why I wanted to put in the trial, but this is all the jury heard. And then Savannah will look at me like, well, that's not really what happened. Savannah's on her toes. She's going to know to be able to call her ass out. And that's what I can't wait for Friday. So I think, so Saturday night, we usually do game night. And I do want to talk about the Dateline interview. So I'm thinking maybe Sunday night that we come back and talk about the Dateline interview. I'm not going to do like we did tonight and watch the whole thing because that's going to be an hour freaking long. But I will take out the important clips that I think are very much worth seeing, especially this evidence that she was going to show. And we'll take a look at these clips. And if anybody has any opinions or wants to come up on panel, let me know. DM me. Let me know now. And I'll send you the StreamYard link because I don't like putting it in the chat. There are many reasons why. There are a lot of nasty people in this world. And there's a lot of P-bombers that like to come on your channel and P-bomb you. I'm not trying to have that shit. So I'm more than happy to have whoever wants to come on my panel. Just let me know. I'll send you the StreamYard link, and we'll get to this. I am lighting up that nighttime joint and going to relax now. You're terrible at games, but I will watch. I'm telling you, Mike, you'll love these games. So these aren't just regular games. They're, yes, some trivia games, but they're cool trivia games where you can still win in the end. We have our favorite, which is Drawful, which you have to draw a phrase or like a couple words. And it's the most hilarious, funniest thing ever. There are other games that we haven't even gotten to because we have 5, 6, 7, 8 packs. We have 8 packs. Each pack came with, I believe, 5 to 6 games in it. I want to say 6. So we have a lot of games that we will be playing. And there are some really cool games out there. The You Don't Know Jack is really funny. The t-shirt game, that's really fun. So we're going to be able to play all those games. But if you want to watch, guess what? I know Quiplash. We play Quiplash all the time. Quiplash is one of our favorite games, and we have Quiplash 1, 2, and 3. We got them all. But if you don't want to like join in, we do, as you know, with Jackbox Games, they have that audience feature that you can play along with us in the audience. So I love that about the game. So even if you don't want to play, you can still play as the audience, and sometimes the audience is the ones picking the winners. So you'll have that opportunity. Oh, you're Mormon? That's awesome. Hey, I support whatever religion anyone wants to believe in. Anyone that doesn't want to believe in anything, that's up to them. That's what they believe in. That's their choice. And that's just how I feel. Yes, I grew up Catholic. I went to a Catholic school my whole life, literally elementary, middle school, and an all-girls high school. So yes, I do believe in a higher being. I do call that higher being God. I do believe things in the Bible that happened, and that is just something I believe in. I necessarily don't follow a lot of Catholic traditions, but I like them. And I still believe there is something, someone, even if it's in the solar system, miles away in a different planet, different universe that watches over all these universes, there's somebody up there, not controlling it, but giving us faith. Giving us faith when we have none, to let us know it will be okay. You will be okay. Practice. When you are the worst down feeling you've ever felt, they will be there to put you in the right state of mind to remember you can do this. It does get better. You are strong enough. And if that helps with any religion there is in, that's all that matters. Quiplash gets coffee in trouble. It gets us all in trouble. Oh, does it all? It gets us all in trouble. It did get coffee in a lot of trouble. We had a private video because of it. But guess what? It's up and I don't give a fuck. So if you do want to see it, then you can see the whole context to what really went down that night. And you can see that I was worse than coffee. Just saying. And I don't give a fuck. Catholic gang rise up. Yeah, Liz. Let me tell you, if I didn't go to a Catholic high school, I wouldn't have kept on a straight and narrow and maybe not have graduated from high school and had to go do adult ed like a lot of my friends did. But it kept me in line. It kept me focused. I did get in trouble, though it kept me where I needed to be. I didn't smoke weed for the first time ever until it was literally my senior year, the last couple of weeks of my senior year before I ever touched weed. And it was because of everything I was learned, practiced, and believed in. And now weed is one of my best friends, but it helps. I don't abuse it, and I use it to help with my anxiety, my depression, even my epilepsy. Weed is a great thing. That's something I will never give up, though I've been cutting back a lot. I do use it when I feel like I need it, but I probably wouldn't have. I went to a regular school for one day, and this is right when the old Nokia cell phones first came out, and I was like, Mom, I can't do this. All the kids were on their phones, not listening to the teacher, not giving a crap, saying the craziest things. So I can't do this. Because I had ADHD, I knew that I wanted to get off my Ritalin, and I needed that structure. I couldn't deal with the distraction of everybody on their cell phone, which nowadays is probably worse. And then I said to her, of course, and there was no cross on the wall. I need to see crosses, which she still makes fun of me to this day. But Catholic school did something for me where it made me a good person. It showed me some values. It showed me structure, and it put me in a better place. Doesn't maybe happen for everybody, but I enjoyed it. I loved it. When I have kids, if I can afford it, they're going to Catholic school. And if they don't like it, they'll have that option of not going there anymore. But I know what it did for me. I know that the people there were amazing people. And that's all that matters. If Catholicism is wrong, I hope the higher power is like an alternate dimension full of weird monsters, like in South Park episode where BP opens up a whole... Yes! Oh my God, right? If it isn't what we think it is, I hope that it is like that. I'll be fighting monsters like it's my job. That would be so. I saw that episode. That would be awesome. I rode the school bus. My father went to Catholic school. Hey, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. My dad's technically a Baptist because he was raised down south. That's religion he is. And you know what's funny? My mom is a Catholic. She went to Catholic high school. She went to the same Catholic she went to the same Catholic middle school, elementary school that I went to. She went to the other women's Catholic high school that is in our state. So she knows all about what I went through. Now that they've moved down south, they don't really have a lot of Catholic churches. They have a couple, but it's mainly Baptist down there. Guess where she goes to church. She never went to church like this. She goes to church every Sunday with my dad, which that never happened either. Oh my God, to force him to go to like my communion or my confirmation, that was the end of the world. He goes to church with my mom every Sunday, and they have a freaking ball. They have all their retirement friends, and they're having fun. I just like couldn't. It blows my mom mind that my mom is like I'm like, Mom, are you going to get baptized now as a Baptist? She's like, no. Because they do believe in a lot of the same things that we believe as Catholics. And it's not much of a difference, though there is a difference. And it's they have fun. I don't know. I don't get it. They have fun. Yeah, I remember Ned Lamont. Yeah, I do. Oh my God, Ned Lamont. That's too funny. I've been watching a lot of political ads recently for some reason. They're definitely playing them, and it's like, what, June? The like first month of summer, and they're getting that time in before those elections. I definitely don't like our current governor. I think he did a couple things right, but I don't really like him. I do remember Dan Malloy. I do. So Sandy Hook, a little fun fact about me before we, get off for the night. Fun fact about me, I don't want to say this because there's a lot of assholes out there, but it doesn't matter. My cousin's wife works at Sandy Hook right now, and she was working there when it happened. She was a new teacher there, actually, and now their kids go there. I'm not related to Dan Malloy. Neither am I. I'm not related to him either. I love that. That's funny. Yes, he was. But Sandy Hook still every year remembers those kids. They do charity organizations for them still, and we don't forget it here in Connecticut. That was a very hard time for a lot of adults. They lost their young children. Like, I can't imagine. And my cousin's wife still has fear to this day. Who would have thought of middle school, But, and that almost was a deciding factor that they weren't going to send their kids there. But because she's there, she loves the school, she knows the teachers, it was the right decision. We like funny over here. Well, guys, we have spent an hour 47. We saw all the crazy Amber Heard lies. We saw what she's even more capable of, what she's going to be doing for months and months and months so she can milk it like a cow. We're going to hear all of this shit anyways in a book in a couple months or a year. It happens. I just can't believe how she's going on with this shit. And if you need to know what a narcissist is like, she's number 1. Katie Joy's number 2, though. But check it out. I have already linked I haven't linked the interview yet. I'm going to put Fair and Balance's channel in there already in my description, but I'll link. So what Farron did was she put the exclusive part 1 and 2 out where she didn't do any talking. And then she did 2 new videos after she put those videos out where she gave her opinion. So I will link both parts down there as well as both parts down there where she gives her perspective. And I'll put some other law tubers out there for you. And I'll put all of my friends at Sunshinery. So check the description if you're here as the replay crew. I love you all. And you mean a lot to me too. We will be doing more lives like this. I miss you all. And I know I, took a break. Took a break from doing lives every week, sometimes 4 times a week. But we will get back into the swing of things. It might not be like it was, because I do enjoy spending time in the real world. But there will be more lives. I do promise that. I love you all. I will see some of you in other people's chats. And I will be back. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Good night, everybody.